the hijinks, the
Now we
difficult
have audio.
conversations.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All of
Now
my
we have
Oh, we didn't have
audios.
audio. Sick one. And this, it wasn't Corey this time. Let's
wasn't.
go. Oh,
Well,
welcome to episode 9,
There
the
you go.
epilogue of At the Edge of All Things. A surprise.
I was giving Adam a hard time because I was
giving you a hard
saying
time.
that this is the flirting that we didn't get to do last time.
You flirted
And-
That we so
much. It was
rightfully
constant.
deserved.
We
It
so
was constant-
Deserved my
constant
flirting,
robbed
Adam.
us of
Um,
flirting last episode.
He
I know
did.
what you're talking
True.
about. I know what you're talking about. But we're here. We're doing a little surprise episode. It's exciting. But yeah, so I know some of you may not have heard, but we unfortunately had to postpone our prologue session of the second campaign due to
Well,
illness.
Daddy DM is so sick. He's
But that
trying
happens.
so hard.
These things happen, and in this post-COVID world, we just gotta have to kind of deal with that. And if someone's sick, we got to be really careful and respect everyone's boundaries. So it is what it is. I think I've been saying these past couple of days, but yeah, it's I'm excited to do this. This is a very last minute
Absolutely.
like shuffle thing that we're doing, but I'm excited for it. I'm excited to
I,
have Faye back.
Yeah, and we will have Roz joining us.
We will
when
also have
she
Roz
is
joining
done-
us. Yeah.
When she is done, she's doing a session 0 with another campaign, so we are very excited to have her join us when she's available. Tim is taking tonight to rest, of course, so he can be ready for us for next week, amongst other things like life.
And
And
I'm
Bam
pretty
is
sure Bam is throwing fireballs at people in
Bam is
real life,
absolutely
Like
throwing
actual, yeah,
which
that
is
is
real
great.
fucking
fireballs.
so sick.
much cooler. Much
Bam, if you
cooler
see
than-
this either
love you.
live or after, we all love you very much.
we love you, Bam.
And we're always
you very much.
cheering for Mordred.
Mordred. I will perpetually cheer for Mordred.
Always, every day.
Okay, I have some very quick announcements here. Oh goodness. As Adam said, yes, campaign 2 will be next week. So if you are here wondering where the flip flap is campaign 2, boy howdy, it's coming at you right here, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time next Monday. We will be live in studio, sitting around a table with brand new dice. Our amazing dice maker, Familiar Dice, is coming to join us live in studio to bring us our dice for the very first time. And we're going to roll with them. We won't see them until we roll them, which is going to be real exciting.
cool.
I'm very, very
And it
stoked
is-
about that.
It is a prologue, 2 prologue
Yes.
sessions.
One.
So
Just one now.
Just one prologue session.
Yes.
Just the one.
An
We're
episode
condensing
0.5,
it.
if you will.
We're condensing it down. It's going to be a prologue session. And are we missing a person potentially?
Well, we'll see. I
see.
think so. I think we might be missing
Yeah.
somebody, but we will see.
So-
And never fear.
But
We are going
if-
to be bringing you. Go ahead, Adam.
If there are folk missing on Monday, don't be like, is this the cast? Are we losing a person for like
No.
the entirety of campaign 2? No, it may be a temporary thing. Even it might not even come up.
If you have any questions about what has happened, I made a giant post on Twitter about it, and I made a giant post on Instagram. You're welcome to throw any questions in the chat or DM us or anything like that. We are very, very, very excited to bring this campaign to you. We've gotten a really, just a bunch of very kind messages with people saying how excited they are for campaign 2, and fucking buckle up your butts, everybody. We're very excited too, and I can't wait to bring it to you. But first, we all have to get healthy to do that at the table.
Sure.
So yes, so campaign 2's a prologue episode is next Monday at, I think it might even be at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We might start a little bit earlier, which will be nice.
Oh, okay.
But sometime between, we're going to try and start as early as we can to jam in as much content as we can that evening. And then we will be back for episode 1 on January 9th. So we're very, very excited about that. So we are proud to be sponsored by Syrinscape because Epic Games require Epic Sound. We're also using Epidemic Sound for this campaign because it's awesome. Our wonderful partner is Legend Keeper. This is the ultimate world building tool created by DMs for DMs. It is just delightful. And they're all constantly upgrading and rolling out new features. Type ! Legend Keeper in the chat. Our other sponsor are the fantastic folks over at Questline D&D, also known as a Filthy Lot. You can find, if you type ! Questline, you can find the link to all of their wonderful stuff, like their fantastic nerdy campaign Ready to Roll, which is out over on YouTube. And very exciting, all of our stuff from campaign 2 will be hosted on their YouTube because it's like the super high production quality in studio stuff. It's going to be awesome. So head on over and make sure you subscribe to Questline AFL on YouTube or I think it's just Questline on YouTube. I know they rebranded lately. So anyway, love as always to our campaign artist, Tiana Kovacevic. You can find her at miss._Marston on Instagram. I have just seen some art proofs lately for some other character art, and boy, howdy, I'm excited about that too. We've got some Just some lovely stuff coming down the pipe. So buckle up your butts for that. I talked about Robin from Familiar Dice, our one fantastical dice sponsor, whom you will meet next week. We have a Discord and a YouTube. Our mods will put up some links for those in the chat. Our merch store is closed at the moment as I revamp some products and get that ready to roll out for you with the beginning of campaign 2. Thank you to those of you who subscribe to us. You can sub for free with your Amazon Prime subscription. You get 1 free Twitch Prime sub every month. And don't forget to re-up those subscriptions because those don't roll every month, but regular subscriptions do, which is great. If you'd like to support our show above and beyond, you can type !donate in the chat. And we're also just very thankful to have you here week after week, showing up, telling your friends about the show, following and tweeting and liking all of our shit. It's great. Thank you. It makes my creative director heart very, very happy. And it's wonderful. Something really awesome that I'm doing is I am the one of the leads in a podcast that drops on Wednesday called the Department of Variants of Somewhere, Ohio. It drops 2 episodes on December 7th, where pods are cast. I'm very proud of this beautiful little project, so please come support my show. I will be in season. I play 2 characters actually in the first season. I play Scarlet Jaunt and Lapis Lore, and in one of the episodes, I have a conversation with myself. So that's pretty funny. So please come follow my delightful podcast. Thank you very, very much for that. Other than that, content you've already heard about, and it's just going to be really, really great. So lastly, whether you are new with us tonight or you have been with us for ages, thank you so much for your support. We love you immensely, and we are so fucking excited to buckle up our butts and dive into campaign 2 next week. But for tonight, yes, Adam.
I do want to address a question, because it is pertinent to the future of our studio.
Yeah.
Rusty Toaster Oven asks, am I moving to Australia? Now that we have the studio, I am not. It was a kind of, if we end up filming in person, I will stay. And if we end up continuing to film over Zoom, I would head back to Australia and film over Zoom.
Wow,
but I was always going to be
Adam.
I was always going to be involved. I was always going to be involved. But yes, now that we're filming in person, I will be staying in Vancouver,
which is pretty wonderful for us.
It's good times. It's good times.
Yeah. Okay, sick one. Well, if you are new with us tonight or you have been with us for ages, thank you so much for it. We love you immensely. And Cody, for the last time for now, for this beautiful
Did we say the last
campaign.
time?
Roll the clip. Roll the clip.
Roll the clip. And we're back. Well, actually, I'm going to do last we left off first. We
get a verse with this one too?
Yeah, we'll go all of
oh my god!
Last,
I feel so special.
We left off. The Silver Linings had faced off with Rollo Terric, corrupted by the penitent king. In the Crucible, they faced off, trying to prevent a ritual that would make the world in the penitent king's image. One core aspect of the ritual was smoke, needing to be bound to one of the pillars of the elements to enact this ritual. But every time Rollo tried to pull smoke closer to the pillar, smoke resisted. And after a grueling fight, they managed to bring Roloteric down. However, Ember fell in the battle, a final spiteful act of Roloteric, trying to cause as much pain to Smoke as possible. Onyx offered up of themselves that which made them them, and used magic to bring Ember back to life. Their mind briefly dispersing amongst the collective of the other Warforged people on board the Andolu. However, something I didn't actually say out loud was there was a moment where I said I'm going to do a little roll here while I was talking about that kind of moment. I rolled and I didn't ever discuss it. You can see if you watch back the last episode, my eyes widen a little bit, my eyebrow goes up, but I rolled a natural 20, which is why as they emerged victorious, Daisy stood with Onyx in a new form, placed within a new body of a Warforged that hadn't yet ascended to consciousness. From there was some harsh words shared with Smoke's newfound father, and they headed to the mirror.
Harsh or needed is my question.
Yeah. They headed to the mirror where Shren had a gift for them. Upon the mirror, they found themselves essentially double-crossed, but Smoke was hidden away as Vellix took Smoke's form, and they tricked Brenna Red into disembarking upon the Chimera, with Vellix using his ring to teleport back to the docks, and Shren exploding his one love, the Chimera, in order to end this feud once and for all. Standing on the docks with the fiery remains of the Chimera falling from the sky, that is where we left our party.
Oh, shit.
So we now head to our verse. The dust settles. The battle's done. Our brave heroes for now have won. Through trial and terror they did prevail, and for the most part remain hearty and hale. They've put their rival in the dirt, so now it's time to frickin' flirt. Welcome to episode 9, Epilogue. Also, thank you, Guild Superior, for the raid.
You came in at a perfect time, y'all. Welcome on in. Thank you so much for being here.
So we find
Best
ourselves...
verse yet. I just want to
Best
throw
verse, yeah.
that out there.
We find ourselves 1 week after the Battle of the Crucible. And Vellix has kind of disappeared. Vellix has gone, is just kind of left, dealing with something you're not sure, but Vellix pretty much just was like, great job, everyone, and disappeared for that week. Shren also disappeared, but you know where Shren is. Shren is on a, as the group has turned to calling, a Shrender, a grief-driven bender.
Oh, he is drinking away the loss of his one
as
true
he
love.
drinks
I
away
get
the
that.
loss of the mirror. But he has gone on a hefty Shrender. And Berg has been a little tied down in
Legislative
bureaucracy.
paperwork.
Which honestly Berg loves. Like
He fucking
Berg
loves
is in her element as she's going through all this paperwork.
She is
But the
thriving.
three of you aren't really interested in, red tape and dotted I's and crossed T's. So over the last week, what have you each done? And I'm going to start with Onyx. There's Onyx? Onyx, what have you done in the last week?
Well, Onyx is in a completely entirely new body.
Totally new body.
So I think it would be fairly reasonable to say Onyx has spent the week trying to figure out what that's like, the limitations, and trying to sort of reconnect. I mean, Onyx previously had like a deep connection with at least the forest and nature and sort of things like that, and then all of that was sort of taken away in the form of the world ending. And so on this ship, I think if Onyx is not in Smoke Shop and learning how to fix themselves another Warforged, trying to probably reconnect with that in any way, if there's like parks or something on the Andolu, like what was that a concern when this sort of arc was made?
Yeah, they definitely created like conservatories and like nature-based things. There's also we actually get to explore the Andolu a little bit, which is exciting. One of the interesting parts of the Andolu is it needs to be self-sufficient, and one of the main you kind of feel that sense of nature, and you seek it out, and you do find conservatories. You do find public parks, but for the affluent folks, these really manicured, beautiful places. But this like wildness you feel really deep in the Andolu, and you follow it for some time, kind of going through until you come to the very underbelly of the Andolu, where the rot farmers live. These druids spend all their time in the dark, lightless parts of the Andolu growing fungi, various forms of mushrooms and lichens that then go on to feed the majority of the Andolu. A big slab of mushroom with the prestidigitation spell, it's pretty fucking good as far as meals go. And so you get down into the like very underbelly of the ship, and you find where like the most kind of unchecked nature is, and it's majoritively fungus. But there are still like similar to like the kings of England having their parks with the deers running through, but they were like, only we're allowed to hunt in there. There are places where there are wild creatures that live, but it's wild in like a nature reserve way. It's still manicured and maintained. The populations are controlled. Like everything is very precise. But down here in the fungal guts of the ship, it's just like fungus. Like the more fungus that grows, the better for the ship, because this is one of the
fuel
primary means of food.
Yeah, absolutely. The Onyx would spend a lot of time down there then, meditating, finding a field, something like that.
You also find this new body takes a bit of time. Also, thank you, Dungeons and Do-Gooders, for the raid. We appreciate it.
Hello, raiders.
Very
Welcome
much.
in.
You find you take a little bit of time to get used to this body. You will pick up like porcelain plates and your thumb goes through it. You like pull door handles off doors. You're just like, you're using the same force as your old body, but this new body is tanked. Like you're just like, goosh, like ripping shit off stuff. So it takes you a few days just to acclimate to that. Even moving around, your center of gravity is totally different. I would say it probably even takes you about a day to like confidently navigate on your own 2 feet without fucking shit up. You have to be more aware of your space, the space you take up. You have to be more aware of like how you interact with people passing in the crowd. I'm now speaking as a person who's 6'3" and very big. You just have to like, you find that, because I feel like Onyx isn't a rough person, right? Like I feel like that's a safe thing to say.
No, I don't think so. I think Onyx previously was, I mean, still is somewhat quiet and reserved, but the body fit that. It was sort of a slimmer model designed for stealth and watching, and it wasn't something that needed to be worried about.
Interestingly, you've had to become more gentle, because being small and being like pretty calm, you don't have to actively be gentle. You just are gentle. Being big, if you want to be gentle, it's a concerted effort. So you've had to kind of acclimate to that, where you're moving through crowds. I think the first couple of days you'd like push through a crowd and people would go to the ground and you'd be like, oh fuck, like I'm so sorry.
Oh, 100% would shoulder.
Where you've had to learn this new body. You have to learn how to be gentle. So I think it all kind of ties together. You find this nature place where you can be kind of alone with your own body and your own thoughts. You can kind of figure yourself out. Yeah. Is there anything else in the week that you would have done, or is it mostly finding that connection with nature?
I think it would be mostly finding that connection with nature, and then helping Smoke around the garage, as now this new body can lift quite a bit. So moving large mechanical pieces, not a problem anymore. As
you sit, because you're going down into the underbelly, correct?
Mm-hmm.
As you sit amongst the spore gardens of the fungal druids, kind of quietly sit and contemplate. You hear a, oh, hey there. You kind of look around. Don't see anything immediately. And you feel a tugging below you. You look down and you see maybe this big little myconid, little mushroom man. Oh, hey, you're kind of sat on my house. It all looks like mushrooms. I get it. It's fine. It's just
I'm so sorry.
You want to help me build a new one? Oh, don't be sorry. People come through here all the time. I go through like a house a week, so.
It's so many.
Oh well.
Yes.
You know.
I will help rebuild your home. I'm so.
You're not trying to eat me, so that's pretty cool. That's.
No. What is your name?
Oh my name? My name's Michael.
It is nice to meet you, Michael.
You can call me Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've spoken to plants before, but not like this.
Oh, I am a plant, but I'm also a person.
Usually it's just feelings I get.
Yeah. No, so there's a community of us down here. You know, sentience is wild and varied thing. I mean, and
yes.
he points at you. He goes, of all the people to understand.
Some do.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people try to eat me. Because I look like a mushroom person, so they're like, oh, mushrooms. But I'm a person. I pay taxes. Mushroom taxes, but like taxes. We have a very rigorous system down here.
I like you, Mike. You're a really fun guy.
Ha! That's good. That's good. I like that. Though the delivery was a little robotic.
Well, I'm working on it. That and not crushing our house.
Yeah, you want to help me build a new one?
I'd love to.
Sweet. And you spend some time just crafting a house with Michael Nitty, this little mushroom man who lives in the underbelly of the Andolu. And in this time, you kind of come back every so often, every other day, and help build this lovely little mushroom house. And in doing that, you feel your connection to nature grow. And you feel this desire. Before you had a purpose to... Your connection to nature was more of a predatorial one, if that makes sense. Your connection to nature was that of like a hawk or an eagle. You were a creature of prey. You hunted. You were observant. You were like keen-eyed. Those were all the parts of nature that you absorbed. But down here, you feel that the essence of like an oak tree. Something that shelters so many ecosystems under its boughs. Its sturdy trunk. Or a big bear. Something that will still hunt, but also forages and moves around and creates ecosystems behind it, you know, in what it leaves behind, in the kills that it doesn't fully consume. You find yourself feeling the desire to protect rather than to hunt. And I think we confirmed what your... Would you like to share what your new...
Yes,
what new Onyx is?
So, it's not that big of a change. I definitely should have told you. I have a different oath than what we had spoken of before. But
Sick.
it is still like my Onyx's connection to nature is still incredibly important, and I think makes sense to drive this. But Onyx in this new body has drawn power now from an oath. They are a paladin, the Oath of Redemption. And
So, in this connection, in this,
New stats when, please.
like, I was a hunter once. Now you want to grow things. You find this sense of building this house with Michael, creating, not just drawing. And in that, you make a silent oath to yourself to redeem any past transgressions you might have done, including those of your predecessor.
Hey.
Ember,
Hello. I was not expecting to go next.
how have you spent the last week?
Well, I think that Ember, who is sporting quite a few new scars from the battle,
Yeah.
is kind of feeling a bit displaced, which I think is, obviously feels like that's pretty normal to happen when the world explodes. But up until now, Ember has still had things that she was very actively doing and like kind of tasked with. And so she, I think, hadn't really like processed anything because she was like, well, I'm still doing, this, whatever. So
Yeah.
I think she's going kind of stir crazy.
Because there has been this kind of weird downtime. Even amongst the soldiers, everything kind of went really quickly back to a status quo of just like kind of do the norm, as norm as it can be at the end of the world. But there wasn't any real response to what's happened. You kind of get the sense the king, the returning monarchs that were previously presumed dead, a lot of that is happening behind closed doors, and they're just trying to figure out what the fuck to do next, and it's taking them time.
Right.
Because they dealt with the end of the world with grace, but then to have this second thing immediately after, just
additional
so
thing happening.
immediately after, it's just like, just give us a fucking moment to breathe. And so you get this sense that like everyone who is anybody is just kind of like, just
yeah.
you
Everyone's
get
like,
the sense
"Please."
there's like essentially like a governmental stop. Like no one is really doing anything
Everyone's taking a
new.
beat.
Everyone is just being like, continue, like orders as were standing. We're not going to do anything new. We're not going to change anything. We're not like going to make any new policies.
We're just
Let's
gonna figure things out. Yeah.
Things as they were, and we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you real as soon as humanly possible.
Which I think is like kind of her nightmare, because she's
Oh,
like,
100%,
what do I do?
Yeah.
So I think that she probably would have spent some downtime in her apartment, presumably by herself, because Smoke probably was spending most of her time in like her shop or whatever she's doing with the garage situation. I don't know how that's progressed in a week, but but probably just a lot of like downtime alone. And then she kind of does unofficial patrols of just kind of like walking around, seeing what's going on, seeing if anything, is weird or, probably keeping, doing her best to keep a finger on the pulse of what's happening with the exchange in the wake of Brenna being gone.
For sure. You know that Brenna wasn't the leader of the exchange. Brenna was the representative of the exchange within your city, Diametros.
Right.
But by no means was the head of the exchange. Sure,
that's fair. But I still think that, like, obviously Brenna was a big player in that, and power abhors a vacuum.
100%.
And I think that can kind of just be said with like everything. So she is definitely, I think, just spending most of her time looking for stuff.
Sure.
Even when there's nothing to look for.
So you would probably spend a bit of time in an area called the Stacks. The Stacks are a portion of the Andolu that were built specifically to house people. They were very conscious when building the Andolu that there would be a chance that a lot of people would have to live aboard the Andolu for potentially a long time. This is an arc. They built this with the like, if shit goes bad, this is our like contingency plan. And the Stacks are exactly that. They are really slapdash living domiciles. You see that like new ones are being built even now, like a week into this whole ordeal. People are building new homes for themselves. There are more people on the Andolu than were previously expected, and it's crowded, it's cramped, it's a little fucking sus. And this is where crime thrives, where when people are pressed together, people tend to get a little skeezy. So I think, I don't even know if it can be called vigilantism.
Daredevil vigilante, like, Ember? Is that what's happening right now?
But it's not necessarily vigilantism, because you are...
I'm a part of the guard. I am official.
You are a part of the guard, and like your job aboard this ship is to like maintain the peace. But I do think you like in the week
it's not sanctioned though. No,
100%. And in the week that passes, I think you do like break up a couple of like thug rings that are like doing like muscling in on people's business and being like demanding protection and doing racketeering and shit.
I think sure there's like some bar that has popped up in the Stacks that Ember has popped into, and like, one night people were pushing in on like the owners or something like that. She was like, okay.
Yeah, no, I think you like in this week that has passed, you have broken up a like very minor crime ring that kind of popped into place. Because you need something to do. And down here in the Stacks, and the Stacks are like, they're built on the starboard side of the Andolu, and they actually bulge out of the ship. So there are parts of the Stacks that literally, it's like the road of the stack is just a gangplank that goes out above nothing. So the people who are living here are living in constant peril. The wind levels are insane. Like it's genuine. Like the style of life here has had to adapt, and in a week it's taken time. But you see like a lot of people just travel around the stack with a little tether that they like clip on that like runs down lines that have been installed. It's quite like chaotic and a little bit of bedlam as they kind of try to build this township within a city on a ship. But it's starting to build outside of the ship itself and is like out in the open air, because the Andolu isn't, if you look at the Andolu, it's not a boat. It doesn't look like a boat. It is a massive sprawling city that happens to fly. And this town, the Stacks that's been built, just kind of goes beyond the original boundaries that were planned. And so the safety precautions that the original designers of the Andolu put into place aren't here. So you kind of, and being a fire genasi, you're kind of like, a little part of you revels in that, like,
the little
living on the edge.
Yeah.
I think you spend like a bit of time in the Stacks just because you're like, this is fucking cool.
Yeah, I think also she probably, so for other reasons, she has never really lived alone. She has always kind of lived in barracks with her like, group of people that she commanded, and they were all on top of each other all the time. So it kind of probably is like a bit comforting, a bit of like, this feels like what life used to be.
For sure.
And she kind of likes the bumping into people and brushing elbows type of a thing, and all of that good stuff. So she probably doesn't normally ever walk around with a tether on, but
and that within the stacks, this kind of like they serve more of a role of like messengers and deliverers, but they're called the net runners, and they literally do exactly that. They run between the like strands and ropes and shit that like holds all of this together. They are like trapeze artists, basically. They fucking scatter through, and you've made some contacts within the net runners who tend to be like really lithe, small folk, often young, that are just like, hey, I'll deliver you your mail because you're like this far out in the stacks, but you still need to be like you still need to be connected to the world. So they provide this very important service, but it's extremely dangerous. And you make some friends in the net runners, these kind of young upstart hotheads that are like, yeah, we'll deliver it. We're like, oh, you have a package that needs to go to this place? Yeah, we'll run along this.
I'm like, all right, scamp.
Thin line of rope, yeah.
Ruffle their hair with this little like 11-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know that like if there were ever to be a place on the Andolu that would be referred to as the slums, it's the stacks. The stacks are very much a low income kind of poorer district.
Where everyone kind of gets shoved when you're not someone with a name.
Exactly. If you can't kind of muscle your way into a nice place, you end up in the stacks. Amazing. Is there anything else that you spend your time doing in this week that passed?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. Other than, again, like, definitely keeping her ear to the ground for any stirrings of things or any mention of or sightings of any like rogue Warforged or anything like that. Like, she is still very much so trying not to settle herself, because there's some stuff that she's gonna have to deal with like emotionally when that happens, and that's just like not a thing she wants to do. So yeah, and then I don't know if I would be allowed to, but the only other thing I would think about is checking in on the kids of the crown to see how they're doing.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because as you're out here, you see a little group of the net runners shooting past, and your passive perception is very high. So you notice two things. Firstly, you notice someone watching this group keenly. Really, really keenly. They're this tall, elven figure, and strangely, they have this kind of mantle of feathers at their shoulders. And as you kind of catch that, your eyes kind of widen as you realize one of the kids running along this thin line of rope, laughing, is Remy. And you watch as Remy stumbles, misses a foot, and falls off of the rope into nothing. And the feather-mantled person watching just silently drops off one of the gangplanks and turns into a giant eagle and scoops him up and puts him back, and then flies back down. And you see an insignia of the Royal Guard, and they just stand and watch. And they're literally just here so Remy can play around with kids that he doesn't have the skills to play around with. Because he's like, this is him being like, I can keep up with the other kids. He absolutely cannot keep up with these other kids who have gotten so proficient at running these lines. But he has a guardian watching over. And you see him laughing. He seems bags under his eyes, a little gaunt at the cheeks. He's probably not sleeping super well, but in this moment that you see him, he's a kid doing kid stuff.
Oh, stop. I'm gonna cry. That's the cutest shit I've ever heard.
Thank you. That's amazing. Now, Smoke,
Oh boy.
What does Smoke do over the course of the week?
Buckle up your butts, babies. It's a busy week for
All right.
Sweet Air Genasi.
Yeah.
So I think a big sleep would be the first thing that would happen. And after everything with the ship and everything like that. And then literally the next morning at the crack of dawn, Smoke is up and A is just goes over to where Pewter lives and just bangs on the door.
Yeah.
Like very early in the morning.
And the door opens. Oh,
Good morning.
lass, what do you want? That's so early. What are you doing?
Well, didn't you always used to say that before the world ended, the early bird gets the worm?
Yeah, but the world ended, so like...
Yeah,
most of the birds are dead.
Well, that's fine.
Especially the ones that were down by the worms because the ground exploded. So like...
Right. I need a shop. Or at least a place for one.
Right, so you come here
Yeah.
before the sun's even up. And we're in the sky. Like, if the sun's not up, like, it's early.
It's not
But
my
you come
fault
and
you're
you-
still asleep.
Asking for favors, right?
No, you told me a couple days ago, you said, Smoke, they want you to join the guild. And I said, okay, but I'm gonna need a shop. So this is me saying I'll join the guild, but you gotta give me a shop to do that.
I'll see what I can do. But it's it's probably not gonna happen in the next minute or so. It'll take me some time.
How
A day
long?
or two.
A day or two?
To organize you to have your own shop, absolutely.
I mean, I guess that's great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's an excellent timeline. I need you to know that. Like, I need you to recognize that a day or two to get you your own shop is like quite impressive.
Absolutely. That's really great. Thank you so much for that.
You're a menace, lass. You're an absolute menace.
Yeah, and you adore me, so it's fine.
And he looks at you like with a soft look, and he goes, "Glad you're okay."
Yeah, you too. Okay.
I was never in danger. I
I
than when the
know.
world ended, but like past that, I was fine.
I know, but like you're kind of important to me. Okay, so whatever, it's fine. Thank you for getting me a shop. I appreciate
He
it.
pushes your shoulder. He goes, you like me?
Well,
I'm important to you.
Yeah, and you're not my boss anymore.
I'm not that. No, yeah.
So
He ruffles your hair.
Oh my gosh, please stop that. Thank you. It's great. Okay.
Sorry,
thank
kid.
you. What time did you want me to be back?
For the shot.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you right away. So please, like, drop by tomorrow afternoon, and we'll see how well I've done.
What time?
He looks at like he looks at the ship and like how like very little is happening. People are just kind of wandering around aimlessly. You see like a bunch of people who are just heading to the Church of Splendors to go gamble because there's nothing else to do. And he
Smoke has like 3 watches on. Like
yeah,
they're all
100%.
coordinated to different times. Some of them have alarms set for different things. Well, what time am I coming back?
Why don't we say 4 hours afternoon?
Okay, great. That's technically early evening, so you should probably be more specific. But yeah, great. Okay, that's so good. Thank you. Goodbye.
Oh no, he like mutters to himself as he shuts the door as he run off.
And so in that time, in the day and a half that I have, I'm gonna go start trying to canvas around, and with what I have, start rebuilding the like toolkits that I have, because I have whatever's on me. But I want to go start like finding old contacts from the yard, and I want to try and like starting to get my toolkit back together, because I'm going to need bigger pieces of machinery, and I'm just going to get them all shipped to Pewter's house.
Amazing. So yeah, you kind of look around, and you find yourself in a part of the ship on the port or larboard side of the Andolu. This is where incoming ships land.
Mm-hmm.
But above that and below that, you have 2 different working areas. Below is where they build new ships and raise them up, and
Nice.
above is where they fix and retrofit old ships.
Sick one.
You find yourself in the above district,
Oh, sure
the
do.
retrofitters, where you kind of look around looking for tools. You get pointed to old McGrags.
McGrags? Is his name?
McGrags, yeah.
McGrags, okay.
And you come to a shop. You can hear like.
Do I know this? Do I know this person already?
Don't.
Interesting.
You guess
okay.
that. Well, you assume that like probably an engineer or a mechanic from
I
a totally
see.
different city.
Right, got you.
So yeah, you were outside McCrags.
Is there a door? Like,
Yeah, there's like a big metal door.
I give it a bit, like, if there is a knocker on it, rather than just use my tiny little hands, I would,
How tall
on the
is Smoke again?
about 5'7".
Yeah, so
God,
about
every single time. This is literally every single time.
I was
that
trying to
Em
remember what the last time I told you was.
You keep making her taller, and it's hilarious.
Yeah,
the
it's-
very first
I
time.
think she
no,
started
no, no.
quite short.
She
No, no,
started
I
at like
said-
5'1", and then
Then she's small. Then
she
she's small.
was like
Yeah.
5'3", 5'5", 5'7".
I don't fucking remember.
Well,
Okay,
let's just call it
well,
5'2". Let's just call it an even
Let's just
5'2".
keep her
Yeah.
small then. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
it's because my
I'll write it
campaign
down.
2.
I'll write
It's
it
because my campaign 2 character is very small, but Neppy is quite tall, so I just keep fucking conflating the two, and it's like who's in the
Amazing.
middle. So she's
you
like
see,
5'2", 5'3". There we
You
go.
see about a foot below your,
Yeah,
or like
love this.
3/4 of a foot below your eye level, a metal slide opens in the door, and you see. It's hard to tell at first what it is because it's obscured by this insane mane of eyebrow
I
with
love
these
it.
piercing blue eyes that go, "What you want?"
I like crane my head down sideways and go, "Hi, I'm here to talk shop." Literally.
Got money?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good,
Always.
good. And the slides, and then you hear as like 40 or so locks are unbolted, unwrenched, keyed open, and the door opens up, and you see a squat, broad, muscular dwarf
Yeah.
who looks like a Brillo
Obsessed.
pad
I'm
as his
obsessed with
head,
him.
just like hair in every direction.
Yeah.
Beard burnt at the edges, hair burnt at the edges. His eyebrows are so puffy that they're like long. And
How
they
much
kind of-
oil are we talking on his body? Like oil splash?
It's
like,
almost impossible to tell because a lot of it got soaken up in his beard.
Yeah, we love this for
He
him.
looks like the most messy, like fucking sloppy bitch of all time. And he looks and he goes, "What's your name?"
Smoke. What's your name?
Crag.
It's nice to meet you.
You like building things?
Do I like building things? And I just like
Show me your
feel like
hands. He grabs them.
calluses everywhere, covered in
You-
oil under my
yeah.
nails.
He
There's,
grabs
like,
them and he feels them around. You feel the sensation of like almost like stone, like pumice. As he
Yeah.
touches your hands, his hands are
Yeah.
just so calloused. And he looks at you and goes, they're not too soft.
I've been
Good.
saving the world for the last week, so they've gotten kind of soft.
He
Sorry.
turns his back to you and wanders into his shop. But you see that as a kind of open invitation to his shop.
Sick. I walk in. So I need some. I'm gonna need some gear. I'm wondering what you're willing to sell. I don't think I'll be doing much.
What
ship-
kind of gear?
I'm gonna be servicing the Warforged,
Mm.
so I'm gonna need some probably small stuff, but like big stuff for body plate, retrofitting and but mostly fine work, I think. And everybody else out there is a fucking chump, so I'm hoping you got what I need.
You know, I had a hand in that.
Sorry, what?
I had a hand in that. I had
Um,
a hand in that. And he points to the wall, and you see hanging from the wall is like 2/3 of a Warforged, the parts.
no shit.
And it's hanging, but you don't see like, it doesn't seem violent. It seems like how you would hang up a like part of the ship to get ready to make it.
I am so up in that so quickly. I am like,
Don't touch that.
I won't. I'm gonna just look. My eyes are as good as if I touch it.
Bushman
So
blows out a big snot rocket.
hot. So I go over and so he, if I'm understanding him correctly, he helped build the Warforged.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sorry.
it clicks for you.
need to
I had a
mention
hand
something
in
here.
that.
I noticed that we did not roll for hot.
Yeah,
for
please roll for
Mick
hot for
Rack.
this man. I assumed he was because he just blew a snot rocket out of his
It's
nose.
just,
but
that's what reminded me. I was like, you know what? We haven't.
Roll for hot,
Shit,
please.
man.
Did he roll
15.
Yeah, that's great.
He's like,
Sexiest
he's
one.
hot. He's hot in a real
I feel like he
messy
just,
way.
like, I feel like he would braid his beard just
Some
a
people are
little and
into it.
slick his hair back with some grease, and he'd be good to go. Yeah, I'll take whatever you're willing to part with. I obviously don't have my own. I'm working on getting my own shop. It'll be up and running probably within the week. But would love to establish open communication and trade and
You know,
talk-
pewter.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you like pewter or no?
We can maybe get you a shop.
Yeah, well, yeah, pewter's getting me a shop.
Ah,
He said to come back tomorrow afternoon. It took
that's a
too
pretty
long.
good timeline.
It feels like too long.
He turns his back to you again and just like wanders into a shop and starts rattling through buckets of loose parts. And after some time, he basically replenishes your tool
Okay.
needs.
Okay, cool.
So you can mark down that you have Warforged mending tools and
Amazing.
blacksmithing tools and artificer
Awesome.
tools, whatever tools that you feel that you need. And it runs you 20 gold.
Yeah, great.
But you know that you have basically like a stipend from the king
I know.
that you can just dig into. Like
And
they're
I,
paying you because they're like, fuck, sorry for
Sorry
sorry.
for traumatizing you. Sorry for
Oops.
traumatizing you. I go over and as I'm just about to leave, also, you know when you're like in the game and then you're out of the game and you say you're not going to go back to the game, but you can't
Like
ever really
football.
see. No. If
Like
you
cricket.
got, sure. Yeah, I do like cricket.
Cricket is good.
Cricket is good. I don't know if there are any cricket matches here on the Andolu, but I would like.
No, if the ball
should-
goes, it's gone.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah.
They've got magic people. They can fix that.
More.
If you've got someone who comes in here and you want to ever collaborate on some outfitting of something and you need an extra set of hands, I'm near Genasi for that.
More.
Like, work together on outfitting ships.
Rumbles through, and he tosses you something. And as he tosses you, he goes, "Girl explodes."
I catch it?
You see it looks similar to one of your bullets, but your bullets are about this size. This is about this size.
Okay.
About a foot in size. Oh, sorry, about 6 inches in size.
Is it like a shell?
Looks like a shell. Looks like
Oh,
a shell.
I know
And
what
it
those
has
are.
a little propulsion set on its back. And as you catch this thing, his words click. Careful, it explodes. As you're holding, obviously, some sort of prototype. Have a look at that.
Do you mean right now, or do you want me to take it back to my shop and look at it?
Right now, come on.
Okay.
Tosses you a tool.
You got a bench? So
Yeah.
I like
He
clear out
pushes it
like
aside. Yeah, you have to clear out like a mess.
okay. And then there's just like a lot of crick cracking and like goggles go down and what am I rolling to not explode this thing?
Roll me a dexterity based artificer roll. So you have proficiency. You might even have expertise if
I
it's
think I do.
a tool check. So
Yes, I will.
I believe you have expertise in tools.
Sure as shit do. Okay. Also Roz is here. We're gonna get Roz in here in 2 seconds.
Raz!
So that's expertise plus dexterity. That's gonna be that's a +8 to that sick one. Oh yeah, sick one. That's a 24.
Yeah, so you kind of like look through it. You don't unpeel it or anything. You don't like pull it apart in any way. You just inspect it and you see you don't see anything in the shop that could fire this. And it looks like a rocket propelled bullet. It looks like some form of like exploding shrapnel based projectile. You can't see any implement that would fire this. And he goes, what do you think?
Okay, well, I've got either two thoughts here. Thought number one is that you don't have anything to fire this from, but perhaps that's the point. I think it fires itself, and that's pretty cool.
No.
How far can it go?
He slams his hand down on the table. And now that it's not like he had stuff in his hands, he was wearing gloves when you first met him. He pulls the gloves off, and you see that his hand is segmented. It has like little parts that seem stitched together, and it cracks back, and you see a opening in his wrist.
Yes.
About the size of this missile.
Yes.
I mud myself.
That's fucking impressive. Well done. We're going to go through a little shift here. Are you ready, Cody?
Cody, you ready for the hot switch?
Ooh. Pew. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew, pew.
Seamless transition. Beautiful.
Seamless
Flawless. It's so good. I'm the DM now.
Why are you so, why are you so tiny?
Why are you so,
Why are you so tiny?
Yeah, you went so far away.
Why did you go so far away?
That's so
Faye?
funny because the capture is right, but you're just really, really tiny. There we go.
It's just small.
Am small.
Amazing. Well done,
Roz.
Ember
Cody.
is tall.
Hello,
I am
Roz!
tall. Yay! Roz!
So you spend some time, and he shows you the inner workings of his false arm, which is entirely mechanical, but
Fucking so
incredibly disguised. Like you would have a hard time knowing.
And I pull out my little my little cannon, my arcane cannon, and it just kind of comes out. That's mine.
Good.
Thank you. This is great. I'm really appreciative of your time and your stuff. And yeah, if you want to ever work together in the future, that'd be really great. It's good to have collaborators of equal or greater talent, because if you're the most talented person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So thank you.
I'll think about it. And he just turns his back on you and starts ting, 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 like working on something.
Amazing. I leave. And
as you leave, the door slams behind you, and you hear as the locks re-engage themselves.
I'm obsessed with him. Yeah, and then what else? So I would wait patiently.
How patiently does Smoke wait?
I pace in front of Pewter's house for most of the day before I go see him in the afternoon. I just pace, probably from about 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm just kind of sitting out on his like on the little street. Yeah, I'm just waiting.
Amazing.
And then until he leads me to my shop.
So 4 p.m. The next day rolls by. He sticks his head out and he goes, "All right, come on."
I was so patient.
Were you? And he points
Absolutely.
to the like.
I didn't
He points
knock
to the like
once.
divot in the dirt. If the little like.
I didn't knock on your door once. Also,
You
Jane,
didn't knock
storyteller.
once.
Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, friends.
I'll agree with that.
Thank you.
Right, let's go down. We're going to the retrofitters.
I was just there yesterday.
I heard.
Oh,
Apparently you made an impression.
yes, he was great.
You know, in a way, he was like my pewter.
Really?
Aye.
Well, that's very sweet.
But then he quit and kind of went private, but...
Well, that's his prerogative.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
money's probably better.
I don't know if he makes much money. He's very experimental.
I love that for him. He doesn't
Uh-huh.
have to justify his creations to anybody.
No, absolutely not. Right, come on.
Okay.
He takes
Oh
you
no,
down.
Pewter's accidentally introduced like Smoke's new hero.
Yeah, 100%. And Pewter takes you down to a shop. It isn't big.
It's perfect.
It's a little workshop. It has it's almost like someone has retrofitted like a car garage. If you were thinking like a car garage that could fit like a Mini Cooper, It's about that size, but with the workbenches and stuff, it kind of narrows that space a bit more.
It's legitimately the size of my living room. I love it.
Yeah. And you get the sense, you see something big. It takes up about a fifth of this room. You see a massive metal contraption that has like tubes and bellows and stuff, with Macragge like so shoddily etched into the top, and you find it is a blast furnace. So you can when building stuff in this, you can kind of reduce the time sometimes because of how hot you can get things here.
Welding. I can do welding. This is good.
Yeah. So you find your little shop.
As that happens, I would call on the comm that I'm assuming we still have that works.
Yeah, everyone still has it. Yeah, absolutely.
And you can make individual calls, right? You don't just group call everyone.
Calls, yeah.
Onyx, can you if I describe where this is, can you come join me? I got something I want to show you.
I can do my best, Doc.
The connection's a little shaky because this is day this is day
2.
I think
Maybe
day
3.
2. I think day 3. This is day 3 because you had the big sleeps. You like had big rest,
big old sleep.
and then yeah. So this is day 3. By day 3, Onyx is literally like at the end of his conversation with Michael, and is like agreeing to start building a house, but he's deep in the Andolu, so the connection is like a little scuffed, but you do manage to connect.
And I would like describe where I am, like surroundings and stuff on the Andolu, so that they could find me.
Onyx would, I guess, no, at this point would probably know where, would Onyx know where the shops are? I'm assuming.
You would know where the retrofitters are. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine probably not the first time going there. Yeah, Onyx would have probably an easy time getting there.
Yeah, so you kind of make your way up. Day 3, you're still kind of a little unsure of your body. You haven't fully found that like stride.
Sorry.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? Oh, you're big.
So sorry.
Ow!
Welcome to Small Nation.
New body. Sorry.
Hey, that guy pushed me.
It was an accident.
Papers fly everywhere.
Is that the
My
same guy?
spectacles.
Is that the same guy that he almost set on fire?
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Hey, well, I feel like I know you, but you look different.
Our only non-hot roll of I think the entire campaign.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was deeply unfortunate. Yeah.
But we love him so much anyway.
He did his best.
So much. Love so deeply.
Yeah, Onyx would make their way into Smoke's new shop.
Yeah, you see this cramped little like space where Onyx has already set up a bunch of different like work points and stuff like that. You see crates filled with like fucking mechanical detritus that I'm sure Smoke has somehow just gone to places and been like, do you have any stuff you don't need anymore? Like just literal scrap, like literal like bolts and scrap. And
when we were building our characters, Faye and I rapid fired like questions back to each other because we were sisters, and one of the questions was like, what is your house like? And Smoke's my answer immediately was that Smoke's house is filled top to bottom with things that A can't fix. So it's just like there's a bunch of shit everywhere. There's like machines that are half built, taken apart, prototypes, drawings, blueprints everywhere.
It's exactly the Craig's workshop. It's exactly the same.
Yes, exactly. But you would very much just see a bunch of shit that it's what is it that Tim calls it? Organized chaos. That like Smoke knows where everything is, but someone looking at this would be like,
that's why Macragge was annoyed when you cleared off his
Yeah.
bench.
Yes. Yeah, but
And you know
there would be. Go ahead.
You don't have a door to this shop. It's a roller, so it's like a
Yeah, I
steel
love that.
wall. Yeah.
I love that. But there would be one kind of pristine place in the center that has a mirror set up on side, so that anybody who came in could, take a look at themselves and figure out if they wanted any retrofitting or kind of kitting out or anything like that. And that would be the like cleanest place, but everything else is a fucking mess. And
so you've essentially set up here a like a bespoke Warforged like fashion shop.
No, not fashion, function, baby. All
But
of
also,
it.
you like what they want to
They
look
do
like. Like it's a
Yeah,
little
look like
bit
if there's
fashion.
something is broken. And so as Onyx would come in, you'd just see like smoke just covered in like grease and oil and like
Because I will say it does take about 4 hours for Onyx to make his way from the guts of the Andolu to.
that sounds
where
like
you're
the
at,
perfect amount of time to put everything together
Yeah.
as much as I can.
Yeah.
I would have called Onyx like giant crates in hand, like levitating stuff and like moving shit all over the place. And obviously there would be stuff outside that I couldn't move inside because I couldn't lift it myself. I go, I'd kind of like scamper over and go, hi.
Hi.
You smell different.
Yeah, sorry. I've been
No, you don't have to apologize. Where you been?
with the mushrooms.
The mushrooms.
They speak to me.
The
I-
mushrooms speak to you?
Yes, I met one. It's a person.
Oh, that's fascinating.
I crushed their house.
Oh no,
But
is
I'm-
everything okay?
Yes, I'm helping rebuild it. So, I spend a lot of
Well,
time.
that's good.
Yeah. Hopefully they will forgive me.
Can I ask you a favor?
Anything?
I have something I want to show you. Can you come in? This is my shop now. Do you like it?
It's wonderful. A new start.
Yeah. Here, come here. And so Onyx, or Smoke takes both of Onyx's hands and like leads them inside to like the little area that is set up, and stands Onyx in front of the mirror and stuff and goes, so this is where everyone will come in, and if they need anything or if they need fixing, then I can do that.
This is amazing.
What do you think? Do you like it?
I love it. I think it'll be
Well-
nice for people to be able to see exactly what they want.
Well, it's for you first. So,
For me?
yeah.
How?
Well, I told you before the world exploded that I was going to take care of you. So, I wanted to have a nice place to do that.
Wow. It's funny being on this side. I feel like usually I'm the one worrying about or trying to take care of others. I don't know if I know how to be taken care of.
Well, you don't have to know. We can figure that out together.
In this shop.
Sure. Or like, everywhere? I don't know. All the time?
Well. Something I've learned about you, the more that I've watched, is that you don't need to be taken care of. You're quite self-sufficient.
Thank you.
And so the people that you let in your life aren't there because you need them, they're there because you want them. So...
Yeah.
if you'll allow me, I'd like to be there for you.
I'd like that a lot. Yeah. Also, can I try something?
Yes.
just one sec. Just one sec. So I'm gonna grab a step stool.
Okay.
And I am going to put a step stool in front of Onyx. I am going to climb up on the step stool so that our faces are right apart. I've never done this before, so I'm just gonna give it a try. Okay, here we go. And then I'm gonna just kiss him. There's the flirting you all wanted.
There you
So
go.
cute. I can't
Welcome.
handle that. This is the corniest shit, and I'm
The
so here
music
for
that you
it.
just
It's
blasted.
perfect. It's fucking perfect. It's perfect. So yeah, I don't
This
know what
is
kissing a
End
robot
of
is like,
a
but
teenage
it's an after school
rom-com.
special,
Yeah, you
and
see-
it's so funny.
You see,
Just a lot of this.
Daisy standing outside the shop with a boombox. And then... Amazing. So that day passes very sweetly, very
Yeah.
nicely.
And I will
Uh,
put and for the last thing I'll do before we
Yeah,
go
absolutely.
over to Berg, is I would put the word out, that any Warforged who wish for services specific to their bodies and form, where they are in control of what they want, can come see. Can come
You have a
see
busy
Smoky.
week.
Sure do.
You see, your first customer is Daisy. Kind of on the side of your thing.
Good morning.
Hello,
Hello.
Smoke.
Hi, Daisy.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm it's the first day of my shop, and you're my first client, so I'm great. Do you want to come in?
I have heard that you offer fashion advice for the Warforged.
Fashion advice.
Yes.
Okay.
You can make us look better?
Yeah, sure can.
I would like yellow decals, thank you.
Amazing. Let's go look at some colors for you. I love
Yes.
this.
And
So
you
I
spend
go
the
in-
day kind of like exploring. You see that like they want to lean into this like daisy motif.
I'm so into it.
And yeah, you like help put new plates on and help like you just like airbrush some new decals on them.
Absolutely. And it's like
yeah.
it's like a very like abstract kind of like pointillism, like daisies that are painted all
Amazing.
over daisies.
And you find
yeah.
through this week that there are a few that come to you for like repairs or like an arm that got damaged during the end, but a lot of them just want to make themselves unique.
I
A lot
love
of them
that,
just
and
want
I'm
to
so
change
here
how they
for it.
look so that they can stand out. And
so
the
here
Hall
for
of
it.
Relentless Choir becomes far more colorful over the course of the week as the posted Warforged there, rather than being the monochromatic gray that they all were, have their splashes of purples and reds and greens and all the colors that they can think of to express themselves as people,
Yeah.
not just
Stop,
tools.
they're so cute. I can't handle this.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Speaking
That's-
of the Hall of the Relentless Choir, we switch
Hey,
over.
Burgundy.
Yeah,
Burgundy.
Burgundy.
What does Burgundy do in the week after the Battle of the Crucible?
Oh my gosh.
To catch you up on like some of the stuff we discussed, there's been kind of a governmental hiatus. I love the glass of wine to this music. It's so Berg. There's been this kind of hiatus. Everyone is kind of just trying to figure out what to do next. The world ended and they kind of handled it with grace. And then the fucking Battle of the Crucible happened and they kind of went, listen, enough is enough. We need time. Chill. And so, yeah, you find yourself kind of with free time, but you're also pretty embroiled in bureaucracy. But I want you to spend the week how you want to spend it. So how does Berg spend the week?
Berg loves bureaucracy.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, she's probably wherever she can help the most, but still
Amazing.
noting that, if the government's taking a break, but there's still elements that need to happen. So there's, what's going on with, the Warforged, making sure all of that is established, and the paperwork that goes along with all of them being documented, and making sure that everybody's got what was entitled and the rights that were granted.
Amazing. So you spend a lot of time in an area which is didn't really have a name, but is being kind of referred to as the Bureau, which isn't one place. It's a borough. It's this weird kind of local play on borough and bureaucracy, where it's just essentially a collection of administrative buildings that has become, this neighborhood has become referred to as the bureau. You spend a lot of time there doing paperwork and crossing T's and dotting I's and stamping things. And so is there anything particular you would want to pursue, or you're just kind of tying up all of the loose threads from like the early days of the Andolu?
The big part that she'll do on top of trying to make sure that everyone in her group is set, so that any documentation that goes along with the silver linings is as correct, because history is written by the writers.
Absolutely.
So she spends time making sure that her team's version of the events are documented correctly. And then the other thing that she'd want to do is the story of and the legends that connected to the events are accurately portrayed from the government's perspective. And then I don't know how much she can do with all of the religious orders, but the pillars.
Yeah. So I think your time is spent very much just finalizing documents and ensuring that everything is above board and like the promises that were made are kept. But again, the powers that be, you don't have a lot of time with them just because they're not around a lot. You think King Ember is kind of, the old monarchs have returned. Like there's a lot going on. There's people who were thought to be dead and now not. It's busy. It's chaotic, and you are dealing with the kind of lower end of the things that were promised to you. So you finalize the officiation of Ember's house. You ensure that Smoke is a registered business owner. You basically hear a rumor that Smoke has started their own shop, and you are like, well, that's illegal, and you just basically make it not. You get the paperwork done. You're basically behind the scenes being like, no one is doing stuff that isn't technically fine.
I love that. And also making sure that because the people are going to reach out eventually for information and documents.
Yeah, absolutely.
Checking into things, and she just wants to make sure that the top of the stack, it's how awesome the silver linings were, and that
amazing.
Everybody here has gone above and beyond.
You also put
we should be honored for saving the world again.
You put the finishing touches on the Warforged. You ensure that the Warforged are recognized as a sovereign people aboard the Andolu, and that their speaker, not their leader perhaps, but the person who is currently speaking for them is Onyx. You speak with a couple of Warforged, and you get a sense that they want to kind of pursue democracy. They want to elect people who, a council of Warforged to help enact policies. You see more and more Warforged are ascending. Because it was very, very small amount, but in the week that has passed, there's been so much upheaval that this pressing sentience has had to come to the forefront. And you're seeing it. You're seeing it day to day as more and more Warforged achieve personhood. And that is requiring more
There's probably an entire we have to establish an actual
100%
version of an embassy for them,
and there's just a bunch of administration to take care of as literal people start coming into being fully formed and fully bodied. But it is is there anything else you do in this week, or is it mostly just paperwork, keeping everything kind of smooth? And
what's our relationship with Vellix and
right, sorry, so Shren is on a Shrender. Shren is mourning the loss of the mirror, just getting hammered. And
I've applied insurance documentation to try to
100%.
catch Shren. I've submitted everything I can.
Amazing. Great.
Berg is that friend that you all hope you have as an adult.
Berg is the friend who gets your parking tickets cleared and shit like that. It's
Berg is the friend. Berg is the friend who makes sure, like, reads through your tenancy agreement to make sure you're not getting screwed over by your landlord.
Amazing.
And honestly, I love this.
And Vellix has kind of just disappeared. You haven't been able to track down Vellix. Vellix is kind of just in the wind. But yeah, you managed to keep an eye on Shren. You make sure that nothing bad happens to Shren. And I will say there is something that you organize that will be also a surprise to you, but it is from you, so we can address that once it happens. And so at the end of the week, you're at your desk in your office in the hall of the Relentless Choir, and it's late.
And they sing jazz now. They all know. They all like.
They all sing jazz, yeah, in the background. Amazing. And you hear pretty late
Just
at
a bunch
night.
of discordant scatting.
Pretty late at night. Smoke gets home after a long day working in the shop with all of the Warforged who are coming to consciousness and seeking personality that they can outwardly express. Onyx, you kind of trudge in, a little musty, a little muddy, and I think at this point, at the end of the week, Mike is like, do you mind if like, do you want to get dinner? And you're like, yeah, why don't you just come over for dinner? And so you've invited Mike over to the hall. So you walk in and you all see a like 6-inch tall mushroom man, like anthropomorphic mushroom, walks in and goes, how's it going? I'm Mike, Michael Nitty. You can all call me Mike though.
It's really nice to meet you, Mike.
Hey, how's it going? He puts a hand out to shake.
I'm Smoke. It's nice to meet you.
He's a tiny little.
I'm
Really
so
nice to meet you, Smoke. I'm Mike, as previously discussed.
And so you're where Onyx down in the this is what
Yeah, he's
Onyx
helping me
is-
build my new house.
I sat on
Wow.
his house.
Oh,
He did.
goodness.
He did sit on my house.
Did he help you? Did they help you rebuild it though?
Yeah, they've helped me rebuild it, and it's looking pretty cool. I am the talk of the neighborhood.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I'm glad
Ember,
you're here.
you I think at the end of the week, you've spent a lot of time kind of isolated. You've been living in your own house. And on a whim, you're kind of like, I want to see the others. It's been a week.
I'll just go walk by.
And
You
so
know, I gotta
you-
patrol everywhere. Might
You
as well.
walk by and you see as Onyx and this weird little mushroom man head in. And curious, you also, so the door opens and Ember's standing at the threshold. And Berg, you walk out and you're standing at the top of the stairs, looking down at the mezzanine where everyone is gathered. And the floor is yours, y'all. What do you all want to do? You're all together. It's been a week. What do you all want to do?
I missed all of you. I was busy, but I missed you all. So, I mean, I see Onyx all the time, but it's nice to see you, Ember.
Things have been crazy.
Oh, hey, I'm Mike.
Hi, Mike.
How's it going?
I guess we'll eat, right?
Yeah.
Welcome home. So
thanks.
presumably there's some sort of like.
He
meal we
eat
have,
the mushroom things that are their food.
Oh, do you have anything like a rotten bird or like anything that's recently died or like a week ago has died? Anything rotting or decomposing, I am down for.
I mean, I think the lettuce looks suspicious.
Oh, great. Yeah, that sounds great. You know that there's also like meat on board. Like it's not just the mushrooms. It's there are like farmed animals as well. There's like the
That is
the
mostly
agricultural
what Ember
section.
eats.
Is the mushrooms?
No, it's the
No,
meat.
yeah.
Oh, is the meat? Is the meat?
Stares at Mike a little too long.
She's like, "Hello, Mike."
But presumably,
Um,
like we've already got like a meal sort of plan, so we can.
Oh
just
yeah,
plan
this
for-
bag of spinach, that's gooey. I'll get in on that. That's great.
So
Just
we
jumps in the bag.
we absolutely sit down and have a meal together. There's something I
Amazing.
think so lovely about sharing a meal with people. And Smoke is like dishing out food for folks, and like fully puts a plate for Onyx. Even though, does Onyx eat?
I think Onyx has definitely drank when Shren offered. I don't know if Onyx has partaken in solid food, but I think they would tonight. They would try.
I feel like it would honestly be the same thing as like a very Mosscap kind of move.
Mhm.
Where if there's anything that if Onyx is like no food,
Are you gonna finish
be like,
that?
yeah, it would be a very much. Are you gonna finish that? And Smoke takes Onyx's
Yeah.
I
plate.
mean, you can
Onyx
also
watches
like
the plate.
you don't get any nutrients from food, but you can just store it that you can then remove it. Like you have like an area
right.
in your
Can
chest where you can
could
just
you
like drop
build like
food.
a sensory, like a taste thing that like could be some kind of robotic set?
Not in a
I'm just
week.
With science, anything is possible.
With science,
So
anything is possible. Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
work on it.
Give
We can
Smoke-
turn this
give
Pinocchio
Smoke
into a
one
real
day.
boy.
Give Smoke one day and
Give
all
me a
Warforged
day,
can
okay?
eat.
I just set up my new shop. Give me a day.
Well, I think you want really spicy orc stew, though. That's what I've got. And
Delicious.
presumably, Ember, you've just arrived, so you've brought something to the potluck.
I'm not really a cook.
You have
so-
like
Vibes.
I've
you
got
have like
shitty
7
rations.
you have like 7 of 12 croissants that you got from a bakery yesterday that you were like munching on while you did a patrol.
That's so on brand. I'm like, yes. Ah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
a full massive fly flies out of the box of fucking hell.
Mike, those aren't for you.
Oh, real stale though.
Yeah, she'll be like, this one's got some hair on it. Throw it to Mike.
Oh
Be
my
like-
gosh, Magi RPG, thank you so much for
Oh,
the
wow.
raid.
Oh,
Holy
wow.
bananas.
Welcome on
thank you so
in.
much, folks. Epilogues are for flirting. I hope your game was wonderful. So happy to have you here, folks. Thank you.
And maybe if I had a good inclination that people were all going to be coming over, Berg is not a very good cook, but she loves a spicy orc stew, so maybe she asked Chef to come if she knew everybody was going to be here.
Whoa.
Oh.
Wow.
As you're like
And the
I
flirting
there's a
begins.
spicy chef spicy orc stew.
That's
Yeah.
a spicy orc stew.
Yeah, and it's almost ready. And you look into the kitchen and chef massive in a like tight singlet and a apron.
Does
that's
it say
like
kiss the chef?
no, it's
Please.
Damn it.
he's got a tight singlet on, super ripped, so jacked, but he has one of those half aprons that's very floral and pink, and he's like
Love it.
chopping and like mixing everything up, and he's got this huge pot going. And he goes, I hope you all are hungry because I made a bit.
See, I didn't need to bring anything. You have Chef here. He can provide whatever you need, right, Bert?
How's it going, Amber? Have you considered my offer or not?
I've been thinking about it.
Nice.
We'll talk about it. Nah, now's not the time. We're having dinner.
He brings out the pot, puts it in the middle of the table. What is in the week that's passed? What is Berg and Chef's relationship? Is it just
Yeah,
amiable?
Yeah,
Is it-
Roz.
Yeah, what is it?
has anything happened?
Define the relationship, please. Thank you.
Look, guys, we almost died, and it was a little bit crazy. So, if the party had effed off and people had gone missing, and there was an opportunity to touch base with a friend, Berg would take it.
Whoa.
So would it be unrealistic that as he places this pot on the table, he gives you a little kiss on the cheek?
Not at all.
Yeah, so he gives you a little kiss
Yeah.
on the cheek as he places it on the table. He sits down and goes, well, help yourselves. He pulls out a massive ladle, starts passing out
Smoke's
portions.
eyes just go so wide.
Ember
as-
just takes a sip. She's just like,
shoveling food into her face, just like.
Chef,
Yeah.
when you have time this week, some things have changed. I use...
I've noticed, yeah.
Yeah, a little different now. You're quite proficient with the sword, yes?
I've been known to swing a sword around once or twice, yeah. I don't know if what I wield could be called a sword, though. He points to his fucking, like, slab of metal.
Yes.
It's like 3 feet wide. It's so big.
Well, I'll be using a regular one from now on, so anytime you could show me something, please.
Of course. We can, well, I mean, the offer stands for you as well. The offer I made Ember. If you want to ever come along with the Reclaimers, you're more than welcome.
Not just yet, but I have unfinished business, and I'm gonna need to know how to handle myself.
Fair enough. Right. Well,
Are you joining
again,
us?
the offer stands. So am I joining you for dinner? I'm already sitting. He's like eating out of the bowl.
Oh,
Berg is also like already giving him a drink and
Yeah.
you know, making
You
sure
see
everybody's
just he just downs the biggest pint of like a stout beer, like black beer. And it's
Somewhere
just
out in the world,
huge.
Vellix just
cringes a
is
little
just
bit.
sad.
Little
Vellix
tear.
is just sad.
One tear.
He has one tear
Single
out of the
Vellix
world.
tear.
Why
Single
am I so
emerald
sad?
tear.
yeah, one scale.
Single
Yeah.
emerald tear that Chef is there with Berg, and he is not.
As you guys eat and make merry and have a good time, it's about 7 in the evening. You hear a very light, like, on the door, the front door.
Oh, I'll go get it. Smoke just kind of like climbs out of the chair and just kind of scampers over to the door and opens it. Hello?
You kind of see a 14-year-old gangly kid dressed in a page outfit, and he goes, is the lady Edenog home?
Oh yeah. Do you have something for me to give her, or do you need to speak with her? I'm her assistant.
If you can I see the appropriate paperwork? You see like this practice as if he's maybe been called out before.
Yeah.
It's always posted by the door because you always forget.
Yeah, you look
Thank-
over and
thank you.
there's a little bundle of papers with a
And-
note that says "Dear Smoke" for when you
Smoke
forget.
just goes, I always fuck it up too, so this is the paperwork.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
Oh,
You're doing
if
a
you could-
great job. You're
if you
doing a
could
really
tell-
good job.
If you could tell Lady Burgundy that it is ready and it is at the docks at your convenience.
It is ready?
Convenience.
What's it?
It is. I was informed to, and I quote, keep it
Yeah.
a surprise.
Keep it a surprise.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your name?
My name is Tam.
Tam? It's really nice to meet you,
Oh,
Tam.
Tamworth, but I go by
Tamworth.
Tam. Is that too informal? I don't.
No, you're doing great. I was just wondering just to make sure that I can tell Berg that you passed on the good news. I'll put in
Okay.
a good word for you, okay?
Great.
Doing a really good job. And I put like 2 gold into his hand.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
He runs off.
Okay, bye. Okay, bye. You're doing a good job. A really good one.
Thank
Okay, bye.
you.
You're welcome, bye.
As you come back to the table, you see that dinner's kind of finished. Everyone's kind of chatting. You see that Chef is leaning back with a far too small book for his massive hands. But you see him reading this book and he's thumbing through the pages. And you see on the cover, it looks pretty racy. It's a picture of a red-headed woman leaning back. It's called Blade Dragon, and it's by a Maxima Wildhall. And he looks over and he goes, "This is damn good.
Chef, are you reading smut at the dinner table?
I wouldn't call this smart. This is excellent writing." And he winks at Berg.
Okay, go on.
Perception checks.
Can I insight check to see if he is actually thinks it's good writing or if he's just trying to mercilessly flirt with Berg?
Roll an insight
Ooh.
check.
That is my
Ooh.
question.
Spicy. Can I like
21.
is it obvious enough that what he's trying to imply?
Here's the thing. A couple of things you think. I think you get the sense that, I think you with the 21 insight, you get the sense that he is implying that Berg wrote this.
Sure.
And you get the sense that, like, if Berg wrote something, it's probably pretty fucking good. This is what Berg does is right. Like, you get the sense he's being forthright. He thinks it is written quite well.
Berg, is that from a special section of the library that you haven't shown us yet, or what?
Yeah, Berg,
Yes.
please.
No, this is my
enlighten
own
us.
private collection.
Okay, go on.
I have
Why am I blushing like
I have an
Forky right
in
now?
I have an in with the author.
I'll bet you do.
Flirting. Here's flirting for you. Here's flirting for you. Here's flirting for everybody.
Yeah.
I've noticed that Empress is not.
Yeah,
in
the
this
king's not at
episode.
dinner? The king's not here?
Yet. We're getting there.
I think Berg would just be like, drinking her wine, paying attention, but not, worrying too much about what everyone thinks. Who's at the door, Smoke?
It was a page messenger named Tam who said it's ready at the docks and it's a surprise.
Fantastic.
Okay.
You aren't 100% sure what this is about.
It sounds like a great way out of this conversation, though.
It does.
I just have something that I would like to, before we go, and if we're gonna go do whatever this surprise thing is, Berg, that you have for us, I have to talk to my dad at some point about something, and I would like to not be alone in that conversation. Even
You
just
know
to
your
make
dad
sure.
is in this house.
I know.
He's not at the dinner.
He's
Not at the dinner.
He just
He's
hears people
on
having
the
fun.
mezzanine right now,
Get
just like
fucked.
lurking, also reading one of the smut novels.
I love that for him. And
They're
I
really
think-
good, though, guys.
I bet they are. I think that there's probably questions that we all have for him. So perhaps that conversation can happen together. I have no circumstance. I don't have anything that I want to keep private from you folks of questions that I need to ask him. I'm kind of an open book in that standpoint at this point. So yeah, I would like you there for that conversation. Thank you. Second, I want to find Reaper 8.
For the lead there, a little bit.
What?
You want to find Reaper 8.
Yeah.
I would also like to do that.
Want a fun dinner conversation.
Well, when else
Every-
was I going to bring it up?
You had a week.
I was busy.
See little bits of paint still on the air fingertips.
Every minute that we don't deal with it, my old body is out there doing what it does best.
Adam, I haven't seen anything or heard anything about that, right?
In fact, make me an investigation check. I feel like Ember probably would have, at the very least, looked into it while patrolling.
Yeah, 100%. Anything kind of to do with like any rogue warforged she would have been looking for
Sure,
after
yeah.
what happened at the docks, which was only like, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I've already asked Chef about it, but I probably would prompt him if he's got any information to share.
13.
13. With the 13, you
Investigation's very bad.
kind of put your ear to the ground, but you didn't really find anything concrete. Chef, yeah, he folds up the book and puts it in the coat pocket. I've asked around. We haven't found much.
I've been keeping my ear to the ground too, and I haven't heard or seen anything. I don't even know if reap rates on this ship.
I have my doubts. My people are good. They'd keep their eyes and ears open. There was something to be found. It probably would have been by now.
What do we know about the Reapers? All I know is, I mean, they're not a class of, or a designation of Warforged that I've ever seen before. Onyx, or Berg, do you know anything about them?
We know anything more? Do you want us to roll, or we are?
You can. No, I don't think. Yeah, like this is something that you wouldn't roll for, just because it's if that info is somewhere, it's not anywhere you have access to. Yeah, but Smoke is absolutely correct. There is no designation for.
I don't remember much. All I remember was I had a handler, the mentor. I don't know. Reaper 3. I spent most of my time with them.
Do you know how many of them there were?
As you say this, you get a sense that they aren't a mentor, they were a colleague. Someone you worked alongside with.
I don't know how many, but it couldn't have been that many. We worked in secret. No one was supposed to know.
I suppose at least 8, right? They wouldn't just
Yes.
start at 3.
No. At least 8. Who knows how many are still functioning?
Right.
Do you remember at all how you communicated?
Make a. Okay.
If you're gonna ask Cody if it's a question about the pain, they're gonna choose the pain. So just, just so
No, it's not choosing pain.
It's pain.
You get the sense that you might be able to access memories if you try hard enough. But you're new in this body. And it's kind of a thing like the mind of Onyx is in this new body.
Yeah.
And if you push that too hard, you could create a schism between your mind and the body that you're in, because it hasn't settled in just yet. So to try and delve into those memories would be essentially risking your capacity to get around, and like you fear that if you push too hard and hit a snapping point, you would get pushed back into the like collective consciousness of the Warforged, and in doing so could effectively disperse what is Onyx and lose yourself entirely. So it's not a matter of pain, it's a matter of like risk reward. There's a chance you could remember, but there's a better chance that you could just fucking like mind death yourself.
Does Onyx have a sense that this will get less with time?
Yes, you get the sense that like the longer you're in this body, the more secure you will be in the body. But after a week, this chat, not you chat, we love you chat, this Zoom chat, it's chaos. After only a week, you get the sense that like your bonds to this body are quite tenuous.
I'm sorry, but everything is new. If I try too hard, I might fry this vessel.
Well, I don't want you doing that.
In time, the risk will be less. But it might
There's
be too
no
late.
rush.
Make a history check for me though, as a potential memory, as a potential thought. Maybe it occurs to you. Potential.
Okay.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh no, sorry. Onyx.
Oh, dang.
I should have specified.
You fool.
I help with books.
Can I get advantage
books are
from
so
Berg?
good.
The bookworm?
No, not in this instance. I don't think.
Boo.
Boo! Uncool.
I've let you flirt. Get out of here. I gave you what you wanted.
I'm just saying
Fine,
I have
fine.
not had an opportunity to flirt as
Sure.
yet. Just
It's coming.
throwing
It's
that
coming.
out
We still have a
there.
whole
Say.
other half to go through.
Just saying. That was a 14.
14. Then instead of information, I'll give you a question that you as Onyx can ask out loud. Or you can just answer it if you know it off the top of your head. What was Daisy's designation?
It was Century 3.
And with that, we're going to take a break.
You're a monster. Oh my god.
Out of my feelings.
I remember that.
I have that written
painted-
down.
I painted flowers on that robot. I painted so many.
And you fell in love with Reaper 8. Like, listen,
You shut your.
people
you
change,
sh-
especially
you shut-
robots.
You shut your mouth right now. My feelings game. So much pain getting in the way of my feelings game. We are, if for all of you who are new watching us this evening, welcome. We are Blackwater D&D. Thank you so much for being here. This is an epilogue of our interim campaign. At the Edge of All Things. We are going to be back next week with the premiere of our campaign 2, and we will be back right after this break. So grab yourself a beverage, grab yourself a snack, figure out what your designation is, and we'll be back very, very shortly. We'll see you soon. Bye. Enjoy your break. See you soon.
Oh hey guys, it's me, Adam, and I'm here to talk to you about the sponsor for tonight's episode, Legendcraft. Legendcraft is a Canadian woodworking company that makes D&D and tabletop gaming tables and accessories. They are a couple of passionate crafters that create items that will instantly become a highlight of any tabletop or RPG player's game night. An absolute favourite of mine is the Mountain King board gaming table. This table is bonkers cool, looking like it is straight out of a Dwarven King's Hall. It's really unlike anything I've ever seen. We feel really good about endorsing this Canadian business that brings so much passion into something we care so deeply about. So head over to their Instagram at legendcraft.ca to have a look at what they're making and let them know that Blackwater sent you. And if any of you fall in love with any of their amazing products, you can go to their website and use the promo code Blackwater for 5% off. It supports a Canadian business and also helps support our stream in this crazy D&D game we love. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of the show.
We're back. I'm not quite done my sausage snack, but it's in front of me.
We're all eating snacks and that, and it's because it's
we
all
are
the flirting. We need energy for
mowing.
all the flirting that's going
We
to
gotta keep our energy up, man,
Exactly.
you know? Round 2.
Electrolytes.
So, you're all at the table, and you've come to a maybe startling conclusion that you've thought to yourself Daisy's designation was Century 3, as your designation was Century 8.
But
Who saw Daisy last?
I think I might have. They were the first customer client at my shop. They're yellow now.
I don't think that we should jump to conclusions. I mean,
But I wonder if all of the, because there are more sentries, but I wonder if all of the Reapers were originally or were rolled into sentries, and then as this sentience has been making its way back, something happened, and it's almost like the consciousness of this Reaper kind of crept its way through. And one of them, or some of them, or most of them, I don't know.
Berg and Onyx, you would know this quite well. Importantly, Onyx wasn't Century 8. That wasn't their whole designation. Their whole designation was Goldbrunei Skyport Century 8. Like, it was a full, like, basically like a barcode of, like, location, role that they possess, and the number in that role. So Daisy would also be the same. Daisy would be Goldbrunei Skyport Century 3. You get the sense that probably amongst the world, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of Century 3s. Well, not thousands, but like quite a few, because if there's a sentry in a town and there's more than 3 sentries in a town, they're going to be that town Century 3. But, you know, it is odd. It is odd that Century 8 and Century 3 came to consciousness around the same time. And Century 8, now Onyx, is remembering being a being called Reaper 8. And they were spending time with Reaper 3. It's a bit bizarre.
We haven't really been afforded the chance to ignore coincidence.
it hasn't been coincidence so far. So,
Smoke, is everything that you install capable of being tracked by you?
No, not without the being's consent. That seems that would violate their autonomy and their rights.
All right, so that's not an option.
I mean, I could call Daisy into the shop.
You know that you can also just like call Daisy.
I know. I could call Daisy, but I don't What if this is not the case? I don't want them to feel cornered or persecuted for something that they may not control.
Should we be keeping an eye on Daisy for a little bit first?
Probably.
If we can
Alright.
find Daisy.
I'm sure it won't be hard. They're bright yellow now, aren't they?
Bright yellow.
I realize I didn't intentionally do this, but I'm just getting Bumblebee vibes now.
Aww.
Daisy can now just turn into a little yellow Corvette.
Amazing.
The car doesn't
Our
matter.
little Autobots.
If Daisy's a Reaper, you won't find them. Not unless they want to be seen.
Make an insight check for me, Onyx.
Sure. What am
Can I
I
help?
inciting?
Your own feelings. Can you identify
you,
them?
you can
Do I get
help in
help?
this, so have advantage. Yeah.
Yeah.
I silently
'cause
cursed
that was a
Vellix
nat
to myself
one.
for leaving.
Oh,
Sweet.
yeah.
21.
There we go.
Onyx wasn't Reaper 8 when Onyx stepped aboard the Andolu. The same... If the conclusion could be made that Daisy is potentially Reaper 3, the same conclusion could be made. Reaper 8 started showing due to like great stress and like big magical moments and like interacting with the penitent king shit, like all of that weird otherworldly outer scope kind of alien shit that started breaking down the barriers in your brain. You get the sense that like if Daisy is connected to Reaper 3, chances are that they're not aware of that. You also did get that letter from Reaper 3. So it's you're not sure. But you
That's-
get the sense of like
That's my thought.
you
it's more
think
recent.
about your you like think about your interactions with Daisy, and with the 21, like at no point did Daisy act oddly.
No,
No.
never. Daisy's
What
been
about
so
the magic
kind.
in Ember's ring? Could that protect Onyx or...
Oh, I'm
Daisy?
probably not taking that off.
The magic in Ember's ring is currently protecting Ember from the penitent king.
And
Yeah,
I
that's
don't-
still very only happened a week ago.
I don't have
Um,
toes.
But the same magic is available to us. Again, cursing Vellix for leaving.
Well, so a question for you, Onyx.
An answer.
And it might be, I don't know, possibly impossible to answer, but since you have been getting, or at least I guess in your old body, when you had been getting messages, were there lapses in time that you forgot, that you might have been wandering off doing something that you shouldn't have been, that you weren't aware of?
Not since we've been on the ship. I've had nightmares. I've had visions. Memories.
So-
but
May-
no time has been missing.
Maybe the only thing that's been happening is that Daisy's had some freaky nightmares.
M has been polymorphed into a dog.
She's a very cute dog. So, what do you think, M? Oh yeah. Oh.
Oh,
Aw. Yeah. Oh.
so tiny.
Very important. It's such an important contribution to the conversation.
That was good.
Good content.
The polymorph magic fades, and
Smoke is back.
And she's
Smoke is no longer a dog.
Sorry.
It's fine. We were saying that you got polymorphed very briefly.
Do you know? If I was ever polymorphed, she'd be a pretty awful choice. She's very small and anxious.
so cute.
Not great. Probably about one hit point, honestly.
If that.
Cute on the internet. I love you. Okay,
Look,
go over there.
There's a lot about this that is a lot of speculation, and it is very late at night, and we all have full
Like
stomachs.
9.
That's late at night. Are you kidding me?
It's late to be
dark
chasing
outside.
up leads, but you do know that there is a surprise waiting for you at the docks.
Ember's an
Right.
old person.
Which is my follow-up thing. Yeah, I mean, she worked in the military. What do you mean?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
to bed at 9, up
yeah,
at 5.
It's 2100. We're going to bed.
Yeah.
Smoke's like, if Smoke gets to bed by 2 or 3 in the morning, that's early.
And then
Smoke
also-
doesn't
Sounds like
sleep
me.
much.
Onyx
Yeah.
doesn't sleep at all.
Perfect company.
Berg just transitions into what kind of book activity? You know, there's like updating ledgers, and then there's reading for fun, and then there's writing, and then there's reading for even more fun.
And is there ever reading to
For
put yourself
different
to
fun.
sleep? Is there ever that?
It's too riveting.
It's too
You'll be up way
interesting. You
long.
can't sleep while you're reading.
That's what
I-
you have Chef for.
Sorry, what?
Perfection.
Amazing.
Don't ever change.
I think that we should table this for the evening and talk about it tomorrow when we have more time to pursue leads.
I don't mean to interject here. I don't know if any of this is my business, but if you want, I can have some of my people keep an eye out.
Please.
From a distance, we can watch, make sure that Daisy is above board.
I
That
want
would be great.
my
Oh.
body back or melted.
Fair enough, though, I gotta say, you're looking good. Look like you've been lifting stuff, but I know that's not, you don't have muscles to build upon, but just say,
I've filled out.
you strike a figure. It's a good one.
No, thank you.
You're good looking Warforged, I'll say it.
And you're a good-looking
Oh, I know.
orc.
He smiles a tusky, like tusky smile.
But Your Honor, I love him.
Why don't we go see about that surprise?
Yes, the definitely not a trap.
The anticipation's killing me.
I like the as long as this isn't like the surprise that we did with the Chimera, though that was very helpful. I feel that there will be repercussions for that, mostly for Shren, but potentially for the rest of us. So, yeah. Berg, do you know anything about what this is?
I think we're gonna have to go and find out.
Oh, goodness.
You know, it seems like things have been a little slow around here anyway, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, okay.
I will kiss Chef on the way out, tap the book in his pocket, and tell him page 154 when we're back. And we can go.
You see like a dark kind of viridian green in his cheeks as he goes, okay.
The absolute power move.
Yeah, righty. All
I
right,
am
yep.
obsessed with this femme. I can't get over it.
Also, two things on the way out. One, as we're leaving the table and we leave Chef behind, I'm going to gesture to the book and Chef's situation, being like, that is a conversation we are also going to be continuing at a later date.
Amazing. So you head down to the docks.
And then also, sorry, on the way down too, I wanted to say
Sure.
to Onyx, you know, I'm also martially trained in many different kinds of weapons. If you needed help with something, you could have just asked.
Oh, I'm sorry. You mostly use your fists.
Yeah, because that's the most fun, but
I should not have assumed.
that's okay. I'm just letting you know. I'm around. I'd love to have a sparring partner.
Yes. I'm even in this new body, I'm sure.
You know, I love something that can pack a punch, so I'm sure it'll be great. Just gives a big smack on the back.
Amazing.
Yes, I'm more worried about you denting me than the other way around.
It's fine. You got someone who
So-
can fix you up real good.
Was that the whole "you're dating my sister" conversation? Was that what
Oh,
that was?
yeah. Oh, 100%. Yes, that's what that was.
As you approach the docks, you
Captain.
get this sense the times that you've been down here, when you first arrived, Michelle greeting you, when you left, Versal holding back as you dragged Smoke's bleeding body onto the ship, there's been some mixed memories down here at the docks.
The
And as
good
you
old dogs.
approach, you kind of see the docks are quiet, not a lot of activity. And you look around, and you see a ship. Stunning, sleek, with silver etched on its sides, the details beautifully painted in silver. And as you look on this sleek, gorgeous ship with dark oak wooden panels, you hear, it doesn't have a name yet. And you turn and you see the king, King Ember Lasser.
Hot.
We play it cool.
This
Always.
is
Always.
Maybe you do.
but a small. This is but a small gesture to show my thanks for all that you have done.
Thank you.
But before it can fly, it does need a name.
Shren's gonna be kicking himself that he's not here.
Well, here's the thing. Bam is in chat right now. So we can do like a little delayed, like, kind of.
We hear a message from the
Yeah,
Discord.
yeah. Through drunken sobbing, its name is.
Here we go. No, perfect. I call Shren on the comms.
Yep. It's weird that he's found a part of the ship that just there's this like weird like 4-second delay that
Mhm.
every time you say something you have to wait about 4 seconds for him
That's
to
so weird.
respond.
It's so
And there's
strange.
probably
Comes through.
so much chaos happening on the other line. There's just like the sounds of, you know,
It's like
random.
There's like
craziness.
goats bleeding, like bleating, and there's like dice rolling, and there's like gunshots.
Yeah.
It's fucking bedlam.
Yeah,
I
doesn't walk outside to answer the phone. Just takes it at the,
No,
at the table.
absolutely not.
At the craps table.
What an absolute legend. I call Shren on the comms. Shren, I know you're out doing stuff right now, but I would feel absolutely amiss if I didn't give you at least first crack to name this new ship. And I would describe in the 4-second delay that it's going to take for Bam to come up with a name and be.
Yeah,
This-
good luck, Bam. Right now.
Good luck,
now's the
Bam. We
time.
love
Yeah,
you.
you're not on the spot.
You're not. Oh,
You hear a
he did.
response, like drunken. I think the best name for my beautiful Mira's daughter is Shristi, the Silver Goddess.
Well, there you have it, folks. Shristi.
It will be done. The king snaps his fingers, and an artist, like a little dude, you see a halfling carrying a bunch of books and also paintbrushes, and he's very unfortunate looking, and he goes, right away, your highness. And he goes over and he starts painting Shristi.
He's my favorite boy.
Beautiful, beautiful calligraphy on the side of the ship.
I was gonna say his calligraphy better be beautiful, or I'll do it myself.
It's stunning. It's like
Okay, good.
perfect. Actually, I'm gonna roll. Yeah, it's really fucking good.
Good.
It's really good.
Good.
And beautiful silver lettering, Shristi. And you look upon your new ship.
Thank you.
No thanks necessary. Thank you all for everything you've done for us, for the Andolu, for our people,
Well,
for my son. And he looks at you, Ember.
You know, he's not got the best balance, that kid.
Yes. Chara told me that they saw you out and about in the stacks.
You know, keeping an eye on things.
I'm
He's
gonna pull
in-
the other two away from this conversation as though
absolutely,
I am like,
we are going.
please come inspect the ship with me, and I'm gonna pull everyone away.
Yeah, all of a sudden you find yourself
Alone.
Immaculate
Alone on the
detailing.
Gonna-
docks? Stop.
Yes, he's in good talents.
He'll get better.
Practice makes perfect. It's part of growing up. I thought when I was his age, I went and did stupid, dangerous things to take my mind off things, and he has a lot to take his mind off.
He's had a rough couple of weeks.
He has. As have all of you. Again, you have our thanks.
I couldn't help but notice that was the first of many favors, is what I was hearing. Just wanted to clarify that.
I can't promise anything, but you are most certainly owed.
I'll keep that in mind.
Please do.
Is there anything else that you require of us, Your Royal Highness?
Not as of right now. It's a bit of a mess. I managed to get away.
I did notice, are there any other guards around here?
You see, like, in the shadows, like, 2 guards that are, like, fairly well hidden, but you see them because, of course, you do.
Pretty slim on the guard tonight.
Well, I'm not technically supposed to be out here. I just didn't want to deal with the other monarchs clamoring and crying and yelling and being fucking children.
Yeah, considering one of them is a child now, correct?
She has not been a part of the talks, but there are people speaking for her, yes.
That's gotta be fun.
I will admit, and this is just between you and I thought things would be easier with back to the status quo, but things are more complex now that there's more monarchs. It was easier when it was just me. Strangely, I didn't think that would be the case.
I mean, too many cooks, right?
Right. It's how we've always done things, but well,
Just because something's how you've always done it doesn't mean that's the right thing to do.
I guess you're right.
I want to show you something. And she's gonna kind of walk over to just like a part of the dock and kind of give like a nod to the guards if they want to
He
come
looks
with.
at the guards and
It's not
he-
like a, you know.
It's like, she's saved my son twice. I think we're okay.
She's gonna kind of just walk over to a part where there's less light. And she's just gonna be like, you know, I found myself having a very hard time dealing with, honestly, after everything was so chaotic and everything was nonstop for so long, it's weird to have everything slow down. But in the times that I've needed space to quiet my mind, especially back when things weren't the way they are now, I just like to look up and look at the stars. And they are, they give you a quiet peace you don't really get when people are yelling at you in a boardroom.
Wise words.
It can be hard to take the time to appreciate the little things like that. And just how small our issues are a lot of the time in the grand scheme of things.
Make an insight check.
Whoa! Whoa! I'm so nervous. My heart is pounding.
Adam, you said there'd be no combat.
Stab!
Please, I would absolutely cry. And I'd be like, first session me, or I guess third session me knew it. First time we met him, I was like, am I gonna have to kiss this man or kill him? I don't know. Insight 24.
Okay. You continue your conversation.
How could you do it to me? How could you do it to me? I literally could not roll higher unless I rolled a nat 20. You absolute monster.
And you stand at the edge of the docks looking out amongst the beautiful stars.
She probably won't say anything after that unless he
just kind of
instigates
sits
it.
down
Yeah.
at the edge, his legs dangling over into nothing. It is peaceful.
Yeah.
I haven't had... Sorry.
No.
I just haven't had time to myself. And a lot has happened.
Yeah, I
A lot.
mean, everyone's had a hard week, a hard couple of weeks, including yourself. And I can imagine it has got to be a lot of work presenting like you're okay because you have to, but that doesn't mean you are. I'm quite well acquainted with the feeling.
Yeah. There's an expression. It's a little morbid. But amongst the fire Genasi and the Efreet people of the East, I know that you grew up somewhat removed from your people's homeland. There's an expression. Duty is heavy as a mountain. Death as light as a feather. It's days like this I feel that more than ever.
You know, I did grow up far away from everything, in a run-down shithole. And many days it felt like that. It felt like it would just be so nice to not have to do anything anymore. But I think that ultimately you'll be doing enough of that when your time has passed, and it obviously hasn't yet. So you gotta relish in what you do have.
There's time yet to make amends for wrongdoings, to lead this, what's remaining of this nation. We shall
watch
see
your
what the
son
future
grow up.
holds. To watch my son grow up thanks to you and your friends.
I feel like Remy needs more guards, maybe. Maybe that's a thing that should happen for him.
Remy set one of his guards on fire the other day. I think...
Guess you just need ones that are fireproof then, huh?
Are you offering?
Got nothing else to do.
You know what that would entitle, correct? You wouldn't be able to be a member of the Silver Linings. You wouldn't be free to travel. And your days would be spent watching my son. It is certainly an honor that you are worthy of, but it can also be a yoke.
You know, I think, I don't know if the wandering thing's for me. And I've already had to save his butt twice. Might as well keep looking out for him.
True. And who knows? Maybe if you really do need to travel abroad, he can go with you. Learn a thing or two.
Yeah. I'm sure I could teach him how to hold his own. Though I'm sure you're also quite capable of that yourself.
Let me put some things in order and we can chat about your future.
Well, there's no rush. It's only the end of the world. And
It's only the end of the world.
Be
He
like,
stands.
have a good night.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
He walks away. You see the two guards peel off and follow. And you rejoin your group.
I just put my arm around Smoke, and I put my other arm around Berg. I'm just like, so what are we doing?
We're already 3 cups in. You gotta smash this bottle on the ship. Do it.
Let's go.
Amazing. So you guys have a raucous night out celebrating your new ship, the Shristi. As the dawn comes on the next day, where do each of you find yourselves? Let's start with Berg.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, no, you go. Yeah.
I will sleep in a lot,
Amazing.
and then I will start writing.
Fantastic.
And I will use a line that maybe had just slightly been heard on the wind, but there's no rush. It's only the end of the world. That's how the book starts.
Love
and then
that.
it gets really saucy.
Honestly, I'm honored.
Amazing. So you start doing a little bit of writing. Onyx, where do you find yourself in the morning?
I think in the shop, in front of the mirror, just sort of studying.
Okay.
Can I hop in there?
Yeah, I'm guessing you're also there.
Yeah. I think actually, I feel like for once, Onyx would have beat Smoke there
Yeah.
to the shop. I would like come in and like roll up the thing and be like, oh, did you want me to come back?
To your own shop. No.
I'm happy to wait.
No. Just, getting used to all this. It's strange.
The new body?
Yes. But not just that. Stability. I had that before, but this one is different. This one feels better.
Maybe it's the difference between stability and monotony.
Yes. That sounds right. The shipyard was monotonous. This isn't.
You have so much more choice now. So much more time. No orders. Really, very few obligations. You can do whatever you want.
Yes. But With more choice comes more problems sometimes. It can be paralyzing to think about. Sometimes I miss the orders.
I know. Maybe that's why people join the military in the first place. Not that you really had a choice in that.
No. How's your new shop?
It's good. It's busy. I take naps, and you see a little hammock that's like in the corner of the top of the shop. That's very like slipshottily just been pinned up there. But no, it's good. And I get what you mean. I'm someone who likes new things, but I don't like change. I like when things are new and exciting, and I can engage with them however I want. But then when things start to change, I start to panic because I think I'm going to lose things that I had before. I think it's the reason why I don't throw anything away, even if it's broken, even if I know I can't fix it. So, it's nice to have a place where I can explore that a bit, and I'm not at the behest of someone else. I can kind of do things my way.
Yes. This is good.
It is good.
I think Onyx
What?
would walk over to Smoke and just open their arms.
Smoke just kind of like bounces for a sec and then just kind of like and just is like up and in. Also that like I described it as a flying squirrel jump. Yeah, it's very much just kind of like a whoop, just in.
Amazing.
So tight.
Welcome home.
You too. Also, I'm of the belief that home isn't just a place. It's people. So yeah. I'm home.
As we fade from that scene, Ember, you're in your home. You've kind of slept in. You hear knocking on your door.
She does the like the like latch is still like the little chains over the door still, so it only opens a little bit. She's like peeks
You
out.
see out of uniform, like dark burgundy pants, a loose fit white shirt, messy hair that's like almost styled to look messy, and a kind of tight crop beard. You see Captain Aileron Vassal. Ember, hi.
Hi.
Listen, I
Hold on.
yeah.
Come in.
Cheers. I don't want to be
She
too
is
forward.
probably honestly not wearing much clothing.
Yeah, like you can
It's
see,
not-
you can see he's like trying to avoid too much lingering eye contact. I don't want to be too forward, but I was wondering if you wanted to get a drink with me sometime.
Oh. Like a drink or like a drink?
Sorry, did you just wait? It's 11 in the morning.
Listen, I had a late night. Okay.
Oh, okay. Listen, no judgment here. I didn't wake you, did I?
I've been floating around a bit.
Right. Yeah.
But didn't have anything to get up to today, so.
Yeah, I don't know. If that's something you wanted, I just would love to get a drink with you sometime. If that's, you know.
What are you doing right now?
Right now at 11 in the morning.
I mean, you're obviously not on duty.
No,
so-
I have the day off. Yeah, I could get a morning drink with,
Why not?
Just to be clear, I'm not great at this. To be clear, I'm asking you on a date.
I gathered.
Cool.
She kind of just like does like a little like I would kind of imagine that he's sort of like standing there inside but very awkwardly, and so she
fully.
shuts the door and is like, you know, kind of gathering up like, I don't know, a cup of coffee or something like that she had on the table, and then just kind of like does one of those like brush with the finger across the back of like a shoulder as she passes by into the kitchen. And puts her
You
cup
see
down.
him blush so deeply as he's just like, you feel his whole body tense as your finger hits his back, and he's like, we could do like a brunch thing, if you
Tell you what,
yeah,
let's go get some food, and then if we
Yeah.
have a really good time, we can get a drink some other time too.
that sounds great. Yeah.
Give me
Great.
10 minutes. I'll meet you outside.
Yeah, I'll wait out front. Or is there a place you want to meet? I don't know, is that weird for me to just like wait outside your house?
No, I told you to. What? It's fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. Yeah. He goes out and just waits out front of your house. And as we fade back
No, your little
from
potato.
Alaron Versal, just kind of camped out in front of your house, we move south, far beyond the sight of any of our players. This is for the audience. Far to the south, we see a fleet of Archon-class ships, dragons flying around them. And we see a beam build on a ship known as the Shattered Immortal, the flagship of the Dubroxus Empire. And it... And the beam impacts another ship known as the Sunflare. And the Sunflare explodes. The bodies of dragons fall from the sky. The screams of destruction as an entire ship, an Archon-class ship, thousands of lives snuffed in an instant. We move now to the throne room, and we see... One second. Sorry. We see the Empress, or the Emperor. She is sat in a huge gilded throne, and beside her stand two Warforged, their faces painted with skulls. And a Dragonborn, amber in color, but identical to Vellix, steps into the throne room. Your Eminence, the rebels are done. Good, she says. Then let us move north. The weapon has been tested. And we shall lay those fools low. The Empire will rise once more, but it can only rise upon the ashes of the Andolu. So I decree, and so it shall be. And as we fade away from the many Archon ships, turning away from the scattered debris of the Sunflare and start heading north, that is where we're going to end our epilogue.
Wow, we couldn't just end it on those smooch-ups and happy 80s music? You had
No.
to do a murder crime?
I had to do multiple.
So many murder crimes.
Yeah.
That was a big murder crime.
It was a
That was
big
like
murder
an
crime.
Archon class murder crime.
Icon class murder crime.
Hey, hey, here at Blackwater D&D, Adam just can't let anything rest. We're setting up for season 2.
Absolutely.
Whenever that, you didn't think that we were gonna bring this campaign back for so fast, and boy howdy, it only took us a week to do
Yeah.
it.
It's too
There's
far.
I didn't think we were going to bring it back this fast.
Well, life happens, and there you go.
Yeah.
I like that we all had. Don't worry though. We had loaded up. Who do we want to flirt with? Go.
That's
Yeah.
true. We were like Adam explicitly
Mhm.
much
Listen,
flirt.
I took it real easy on you all. You all flirted a whole bunch.
I
Some
would
of you
just like
flirted
to
with
say,
multiple people.
I would just like to say that Adam said this all to us yesterday. And we were just all like, yes, when can we do this?
Yeah.
We all were
Yes,
just-
tomorrow?
And I
same
was like,
time?
oh no, we have to postpone the filming of the prologue. And I was like, we can just do a little epilogue.
Hold on, let me
Uh.
check my schedule. It says no open for flirt. Yeah, we're good.
It said open for flirting.
Big.
Only if
Open
flirting
for
is
flirt.
involved. Cool. Right then.
Yeah.
Cool.
And like, it's not. I was gonna have a high stakes epilogue. That's crazy. But I will fucking cliff ledge. I will fucking cliff ledge
That's
every opportunity.
As you
that's
should.
Blackwater trademarked. Cliff liching is what we
Exactly.
do here.
We are just a
Um,
bunch of robed figures standing upon cliffs, cackling maniacally.
For those of you who have just joined us tonight, this is at the edge of all things our interim campaign between campaign 1 and campaign 2. It has been an absolute honor and a treat to be able to bring this to you wonderful folks. And if you're like, where can I see the rest of this wonderful series that's maybe got some combat in it and not just flirting, but there's lots of flirting in there
Lots
too.
of flirting. Yes.
Lots of flirting in there too. You can check it all out over on our YouTube. One of our mods will put the YouTube link in the chat for you. There is almost 1,700 hours
So
of
fast.
content there, so enjoy it. Not just this campaign, but lots of
And
other stuff too.
If you're like, I want to watch a specific thing, like our one shots or this campaign or like our main campaign, you can go to the playlist. It's all organized into various
Gosh,
folders.
it's so meticulously
Very
organized,
organized.
with a bunch of really nice captions and all that kind of good stuff. And I spend a lot of time doing that. So if you're like, holy bananas, I want to see more of Blackwater D&D. Well, and you're like, but I don't want to start at the previous main campaign 1, because that's
110
over
episodes.
110 episodes at about 3.5 hours a piece. That's a lot of time.
It's reasonable.
That's a reasonable thing. You should at some point because it's really good. But what? I can toot our own horn. This is my channel.
No,
so
it's fine. It's just that this segue is the longest segue in the world.
get out of here, Faye.
It's the most meandering segue.
You know what? It's 11
You're
o'clock
like,
at
if
night.
you wanted
A
to,
real
and you should-
circuitous
you should
route,
watch
yeah.
that other thing. But if you don't want to do that right now, but you should later. If you don't want to though, right now, you could do this.
Campaign 2 is
It's
next
very
week.
Canadian.
Okay.
It's very
Campaign
Canadian.
2 is next week.
Campaign 2 is
Very
next week.
exciting. Well, the
It's very
prologue.
The
We
prologue
did
is
an
next week.
epilogue this week. We're doing a prologue next week.
Sure
Ooh.
thing.
Very exciting.
It is really exciting. We are in partnership with a lot of wonderful folks, the fantastic folks at Questline D&D, as well as Familiar Dice, MTM Printworks, Legend Keeper, and a bunch of other folks. We're going to be playing live in studio.
Live and in studio.
Live and in studio
Studio.
around a table, putting our dice in our mouths when we definitely shouldn't be. It's going to be really, really
That's
great.
true.
We're very excited to bring this all to you. So check out our socials for all the information. We're going to go raid. So please stick around in the outro screen for our raid. And if you haven't dropped us a follow, what are you doing? Do that right now. Love you.
Come on.
Thank you.
We flirted with
Um,
so many NPCs. You have to follow us now.
Please,
That's
yeah,
true.
follow
That's
us
the amount of
now.
Well, we're
flirting. It's
coming for you
legally,
next,
you're legally
Chad.
obliged.
We will come for flirt with you next. That's what it is.
This is a threat.
This is
Oh my
a
God,
promise.
violence.
This is a threat.
It is. I love it.
We'll flirt with
Okay,
you.
fantastic. Well, stick around in the raid. We will see you all very shortly next week. And when you think that you've spent a wonderful evening flirting with your friends, that nothing bad is going to happen, you should buckle up your butts and
Be safe.
Have a wonderful
Bye,
evening, everyone. We love you. Good night.
Love.
Bye.